What is up, kids? Good morning, good night, wherever you may be, whenever you may be listening or watching this. So, yeah, starting a podcast. Something that nobody really needs in 2019, but also nobody really needs a YouTube channel or another musician out there telling you how to live your life. So, just trying something else because I feel like a lot of these videos that I want to make, they take up quite a lot of time and they're super fun to make, but in a busy week like I just had, it's just not really possible to put out a big edited video like I have in the works right now. So it's just going to take a little bit longer. So I thought I'm going to take the opportunity to do some more storytelling, telling you a bunch of bullshit, however you want to call it. And last week, I made a video covering some topics of why you might not want to go to college. And I covered a couple of topics, and I have a list right here, so nothing here scripted out, as you might notice. But so, just so I don't forget anything. So I went over a couple of things, like music college is not a job guarantee, which I absolutely think is true. A lot of people go into it and think they get out of it, and then there's just going to be all these opportunities waiting for them. That's not really the case. You kind of have to build all of that yourself. Then, of course, is expensive. It's still expensive in Europe if you don't go to a state school, but a private college, and a lot of people do, and it's even more expensive in the U.S. So a lot of you guys in the U.S., you don't really have an option to go to a free music college. And so that, of course, plays a big part in your decision. And another thing I said was that I just want to play dude people. And there were a lot of people at my college that just wanted to make music. They didn't really care a whole lot about the theoretical side of music or the business side. They just wanted to play or sing or produce. And a lot of music college is not that. A lot of music college is exactly the things that are built around you just playing music or singing, and that's music theory and stuff. So I'm going to go into that a little bit too. And another point I made was information is so widely available that college is not purely a source of information anymore, and it very much used to be, because libraries only could hold so many books, and so you had to get out there and get that knowledge at a college. And wow, that was a rhyme. Cut that out. That's gonna make a great clip afterwards. Lol. Anyway, coming back to the main topic of today. Gonna try not to wander off too much. Why you should go to college. Now, you might think, so you just made a video, dude, telling me that I shouldn't go to college, so why are you making another video telling me why I should go to college? And the thing is, I don't want to tell anybody what to do with their life. That's the last thing I want to do. Fucking 23 years old. Nobody's going to listen to me anyways. I can just give you kind of my viewpoints because I went through the whole experience. And I saw a lot of other people, how they went through the 4 years of college, and my views on it now versus when I started. So I can give you all of that. And please do with that information whatever you want. It's your life, my dudes, so, I'm not your mom, and hopefully you're not going to live in my basement for the rest of your life. So, the first point that I want to bring to the discussion or to the table is that if you're just really passionate about making music, so forget about all the, it's a job guarantee, oh, I'm going to make so much money, or I'm going to be famous. If you just love playing music and you're super interested in it, you want to go really deep into it, I think that's when it might be a good idea to consider a degree in music. And it's not even about the degree itself, that's just a piece of paper that you get at the end. But let's say go through the experience of getting the degree. So, there's stupid saying where it's like, oh, there's no goal. You getting to the goal should be, the finish line or whatever. But I think it's really the case here. If you go to college and you can't wait to graduate, it's going to be a hell of 4 years. Some people see it as a vacation. Then we're back to the whole, it's really expensive. So if you want to take a vacation, just stay home and play, Xbox all day. Call of Duty if you're that kind of person. I'm not. I like women, but whatever. So if you're really passionate about college or music, I should say, then really consider college, because you do get a lot of information. Yes, there's a lot of information out there on the internet, but it's very compact, so you don't have to look for information that much. Of course, you still have to go out there and learn and study and all that stuff, but a lot of stuff is kind of pre-made, a little bit pre-packaged if you use a book, or you're gonna get maybe some like PDF files from your teacher. So it's not so much, I should say, of collecting information. It's just like it's kind of there, and then you have to do something with it. And that kind of brings me to my next point, and that is structure. And a lot of people need it, I think. I don't. I'm very much fine by myself. I wouldn't say I have great time management. I have great time management in the sense that I know what to do with my day when nobody else is telling me what to do. And I think that is very much a strength of mine. What isn't is the very micro time management. So always being on time, never forgetting something, remembering to put everything in my calendar, because calendar can only remind you of things you put in it. That is not a strength of mine. And college kind of forces you a little bit more into the realm of somebody else making your schedule. There's certain classes you have to take. You know when your classes start. You know when your classes end. And there's a little bit of that in college. Even though it's not a high school, it's not as bad as in a high school, but there's still more of a structure around the topic that you're dealing with. And if you're the kind of person who always hated school, who was never a good student, who doesn't really flourish in that environment, then I would say either try to find a college that's very liberal with their time management, or consider just doing your own thing. I think that's really important to remember. You're a certain type of person. And I work with another guy, and he likes to have, a nicely structured day, and know when he's going to do what, and when he's going to have free time, and when there's work time. And I'm very much just like all around that stuff. So I don't care doing 8 other things in a day. I actually think it's fun. And my college, for me, it was a little bit difficult sometimes, I gotta say, because especially towards the end, when you just want to go out there and really do something with all that experience you've gathered over 4 years, and there's still like that stupid class you have to do, and there's still that fucking paper you have to write. And for me, that was, like I said, the last year of college. So I would really consider that. Just forget about, for now, the money and job or not, and I can get a job without a college degree. Forget about all of that. Just think about, like, okay, I want to go to music college, but am I the type for it? Or am I the type of, hey, I'm going to get a job, I'm going to do some freelance stuff, I'm going to do a little bit of teaching, I'm going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, that kind of guy, hey, then college might not be the perfect fit for you. So another point that I have on my list is teachers. Now, probably one of the main points that you want to consider going to college is there's a lot of great teachers there. Not all of them were great. You're not going to get along with everybody. I think that's certain. That's always certain in life. But there is a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge in a very compact area, I would say. That is, like, if you have a college building, there's probably a lot of people in there who've worked in the industry for a long time, much longer than you might have, that have a lot more experience in the music field. It might not even be the business, but just doing music, playing music, and studying it. So really try to appreciate if you're already there. That's definitely a big plus, because you can always do private lessons. I've had a lot of private teachers throughout the years. And what I found is, for the most part, it was pretty good experiences. Some were great, some were pretty good. Never really had a really crappy private teacher, I think. But it's a little more inconsistent. A private teacher might say, "Hey, I have a gig next week. I can't, come, and I'm not going to charge you for it." Well, when you're at a college, you pay that tuition, and they're providing you with a teacher, and even if that teacher is sick, they're going to have to provide a substitute, which might not be perfect, but you're paying for it and you know what's coming. That again kind of ties in a little bit into that structure. I just think it's a little more consistent way of learning music and studying with a teacher, playing with a teacher. You're doing that every week. Also, you're kind of forced to go over the material that your teacher gives you, or that your classes give you. If you have a class every day, maybe, or every week at least, then hey, okay, I'm gonna have 7 days to go over this and this and this and this, whatever the material might be. If you have to do an arrangement, if you have to analyze a tune, if I don't know, you have to practice a new concept, a new song, whatever it is, you have that week, and next week some progress needs to be made. Now, of course, there's people that don't take that very seriously. They're just like, whatever, I'm not gonna study, I don't want to do that. And if that's the way you want to do it, cool. But I think I'm speaking more to the people who really want to go into it and give it their all. So you do have that structure. It's you do have that same teacher every week, and you kind of know what's coming, and you really get into that flow with the teacher. I think sometimes it takes a little longer. For me, for my last teacher I had him for 3 years. And the first year was just kind of, you're just trying to kind of get in a groove, in a flow. And in the second year, I got a little more, I think I got a little more into it with them, music-wise, and also personality-wise, because there's always a person sitting next to you or opposite of you. And you should focus on that human part too. And in the third year, I was in his ensemble as well, and so he was my band teacher, and that's where I think we kind of really also hit it off on a personal level. And that was probably, music wise, I would call it the most fun year. I don't know if it was the most productive year. I probably learned more my second year, maybe my third year, but it just kind of takes a little while, so give yourself some time. Don't go into it of like, okay, this teacher sucks after 2 hours and I'm going to switch teachers or something. I wouldn't recommend it. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, but give it a little bit of time. And then the last and final and probably most important point is building a network. Now, all those other things that I've said probably aren't worth it if you're not going to go build a network, to be really honest with you. And that took me a while to understand, because for the most part, I'm a very introverted person. But what I figured out is I'm only introverted when I don't see a benefit right away behind that interaction or conversation. So if I go out to a bar and start talking to somebody, I just want to get the hell out of there and go home. But if it's on a professional level, so if we're playing together, if it's a new band, hey, I'm all up for it. I'm all up for it, meeting people, working with as many people as I can. And that would be one of my advice. Don't just, like, going out to bars is great with other people. Going to their parties is great. That might benefit you in the long term. You never know. But what I really would recommend is try to do as much and work as much with other people during your college education. So let's say I had a friend of mine, another great guitar player, during my, I think, second year, third year, probably second year of college. We met up once or twice a week and just jammed out over tunes. And we did that for, I think, like almost the full year. and it really benefited both of us. In a music sense, became pretty good friends during that time. Now we aren't anymore, so that kind of drifted apart. But it really benefited both of us, I would say, just playing together with somebody else. If you're a musician, you probably know that. At least I'm talking about jazz and pop. I'm not a classical musician, but most of the time it's easier when you play with a really good rhythm section. So I'm a guitar player. It's super easy if you have like a great rhythm section, great drummer, great bass player. I don't know, there's not really a whole lot that I can fuck up. I can play some wrong notes, but the whole band is not gonna crash and burn if I fuck up. But if you just sit there with another guitar player, my friend was a guitar player, you really have to take care of the basics, and that's rhythm. And I'm sorry, people, I'm just wandering around between different topics, but rhythm is super important. It's probably the most important part of playing music, pop and jazz, that kind of stuff. And so you really have to have that on lockdown if you're just playing with another, let's call it melodic instrument, and another rhythm-based instrument like bass and drums. Or was I building a network? So that was one of the things that I did to build a network. Another thing was that I really like to make videos. Big surprise there. Captain Obvious right here, but I really like to make videos. I like to take photos. So I tried to do that as much as possible, especially during my last year of college. And I made some clips for my college for them to use. I also used it on my social channels, of course, but that was a whole lot of fun. And I met some new people through that. And then another, Lukas Schlintl, a great drummer, friend of mine. We made a couple of videos together, invited other people to come make videos with us. You can find them on my channels, especially over on my Instagram, but a couple of them here on my YouTube channel. And I think a lot of good relationship formed through that. Now it's not like we became super close friends maybe, but I know who I'm gonna text, or I'm gonna call that specific singer I have in mind if we're doing a soul pop project, because I know she's great at it. I've worked with her before, she's worked with me. We've done it on a professional level. We've done it professionally, and so those are the things you should really look out for. And I completely understand if it's difficult for somebody to go out there and do things with other people. I'm totally on your side. It's super difficult for me to go to a garden party, or somebody's throwing a party in their apartment. I don't really want to go to that. I'm not comfortable in those kind of situations. But if you ask me, hey, you want to make a video? Absolutely. Hey, you want to play together? You want to jam for a little bit? Absolutely. I'll be there anytime. And that's, like I said, that's just my advice. If you want to go to garden parties or somebody's party in their mom's basement, then that's cool. I would go to your mom's basement. You know why? Ask your mom. So that seems like a great note to end the show on. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of David After Dark. Name I just came up with. It's going to be a great run. We've already have one episode down. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I really want to get some more people on this show to interview. It's kind of difficult because we're kind of in the middle of nowhere here in Germany, but I'm kind of trying to figure it out. It's not like I can't go anywhere else. So thank you very much for watching, for listening. Please leave a review if you're listening to this on Apple Podcast. I would really appreciate a comment, 5-star review. Send your friends this amazing podcast. They are not listening to great shit. You know that. I know that. Send them some great shit. Send them this podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe down below. And please let me know if you're interested in going to music school, and if there's any kind of questions I can answer for you. Please hit me up in the comments or my DMs. Thank you very much, and I'll see you and I'll hear you next time.